Hello guys, my name is RTBro and I'm going to go over in detail exactly why I believe EOS is ready to absolutely explode just like Doge did a few weeks ago. As you guys see on here, EOS is my third largest position. I have about 8% of my entire portfolio is EOS. I think I am in a really good opportunity to take advantage of this massive explosion that I do expect. And I'm going to show you exactly why I do think it is going to happen in this video. So let's go ahead and dive right into it and see exactly what's going on with EOS, why I think there's so much potential. As you guys see, EOS right now is currently number 23 in market cap. There's currently $6 billion in EOS total. If you look at the equivalency, you have Bitcoin, which has $694 billion in market cap. So it's about 1/100th the size of Bitcoin right now. It's about 1/50th the size of Ethereum. And even Doge right now, it's about 1/8 the size of Doge. That means that there is a lot of potential, and to even make it get to the same level as something like Doge is right now. And Doge was worth almost $100 billion at the peak of its hype a few weeks ago. So this coin absolutely can go 20x from here without any doubt in my mind. And let's go in and show you exactly why. So let's go ahead and on the BTC pairing, what I like to do when I'm analyzing a chart is like to zoom all the way out and then work my way in. So I'm going to start at the monthly chart and see where we're at. So this is the BTC pairing. Let's go ahead and start with the USD pairing instead. You have two different charts you can look at, the log as well as the regular interval chart. And we're going to start with the log chart, actually. The reason why, when you're dealing with such a large data range, you want to really use a chart that condenses the data into a certain area. On the overall level of EOS, you can see this level right here is held as a very major support on the monthly level. So this was the original listing, came back up, retested it, continue up. This is a very healthy market structure on the all-time listing of EOS. This looks very, very healthy. Are there any levels here that really make a lot of sense to me? Honestly, not really. I think the monthly chart is pretty easy. However, we're going to go ahead and annotate the last close, and also one close prior. So these are our monthly opens for the last 2 months. Ooh, I can't type today. Monthly open and monthly open. Now, the reason why you want to always annotate this on your chart is because these levels are usually retested further around. They're also interacted with in a very important way, and I'll go over that in a little bit. Let's go to the 12-month chart. We're also going to do the same one for the yearly open for EOS as well. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near there right now. However, we might as well have it annotated because we are consistent, logical traders. So we're going to go and do that. Let's go to the weekly, see what we got in here. Now we're getting to the good stuff right here, the weekly chart. What are we looking at? So right now what I'm looking for are any sort of major breakers, any sort of levels I think are going to cause a lot of resistance or support. Well, on this chart, it's honestly pretty hard to find anything because this was such a massive drop. All of this interaction right here has been covered up by our previous dump that happened whenever Bitcoin just decided to utterly crash. So we do have this one right here that definitely is important. And as you can see, this breaker did get interacted with really well here. So this is a very solid weekly breaker. I like that a lot. And as you can see, it already got tested once. So we would assume that if we get tested again, we probably have a higher likelihood of busting through and actually continuing to the upside. That's a really good sign for us. Anything else that really pops out of here? You know, I like this level. This is also a weekly breaker. Let's zoom in really close to make sure we actually get the annotated. Perfect. Breaker. Oh, I can't talk. Breaker. Okay, fantastic. So what a breaker is, just so anyone who doesn't fully understand, a breaker is anytime you have a direction in price action and then you have a consolidation with the opposite direction, all right? So what that tells you is whenever a chart is moving in one direction and it slows down and continues back up, that means that there is a fight between the bulls and the bears. That means there's some sort of consolidation that's preventing it from moving forward. And I'll zoom in real quick and show you what this breaker right here looks like on the lower time frame. Go to the daily chart. you can see that this area right here is where the bears fought back on this uptrend. Go back to the weekly, you can see what I'm talking about, right? That right there is that daily level I just showed you guys. So what that means is that there was a lot of resistance, a lot of fight on the way up. So on the way down, you would expect a resistance. However, because that drop on Bitcoin was so incredibly powerful, it just busted right on through there. However, this weekly breaker right here actually did provide support. And as you can see, if you zoom in, we never actually got it close below it. That means this level is extremely important, and it did accelerate the price to the upside. That's really, really good. And the same thing happened over here. So this level came up here, tested it, but since it was such a strong level and the bulls did fight back, whenever we got back to that level, this was the level where the bears fought back. It's a very obvious level. Breakers are a very, very important tool that you should be using in your trading styles because they're very obvious, and the more obvious an indicator is, the higher likelihood of it actually interacting appropriately, okay? So that's very important. So on the weekly levels, I think honestly, I think we're pretty good right now. I do want to annotate the weekly open right here. See if we have any more interaction on the lower time frame. Weekly open there, and let's do a weekly open down here. So last two weekly open. Okay, fantastic. Now let's go to the daily level, see if we get anything else. Now on the daily level, here's the important thing to understand. Because this dropped so violently, it never had a chance to actually fight back on a higher time frame. This right here is the only major level that I see, as well as here. All right, so we have this is a daily breaker, and we have this as a daily breaker as well. Okay, fantastic. So like we were saying, on the downtrend, this is the spot where it fought back before continuation down. This is the spot where it fought back for continuation down. This is a very important breaker. Now, the important thing to notice here is that we have this breaker and this breaker, but what's between here? Nothing. We have absolutely nothing between here. This is called a void, okay? This is called a massive void. That means essentially whenever we do get above here and whenever Bitcoin doesn't drag us down like what happened here, we are going to basically teleport from here to here. I have a very good example of that on the ADA pairing on the BTC. You go over here, you guys can see what I'm talking about. I had this listed out as a void, and the reason why I had it as a void because we had these weekly breakers. We had this weekly breaker, we had this weekly breaker. However, in between here, we have no weekly breakers at all in between. And I said when it closed above here, I said, guys, we're about to teleport from here to here. Although we didn't teleport the entire amount, we got a massive, massive movement of 66% on the BTC pairing, which is an absolutely incredible amount because it transfers even more whenever you add the BTC also going up as well. So that's what we're looking at on the vapor, on the breakers, and this is called a void. And like I was just showing you guys, we do have another void on the US dollar pairing for EOS. Let's go back to the daily. You guys can see it again. Zoom right on in. There we are. Awesome. So if we close above here, since we've already closed once and we rejected, the next time we get it closed above this level, we would assume that we're able to move from here to here with very little resistance. All right. So yeah, this looks really, really healthy. And if we zoom in, no, we actually haven't got an interaction yet. However, what I'm looking at here is that once we do get it closed above here, which is at 66.6666 area, I think, somewhere around there. Once we do get it closed, I think we're going to just completely annihilate this level right here and end up retesting this daily breaker. Now, if we do get above this breaker, where are we testing next? Well, this weekly breaker we already listed out. So some sort of path like this would make a ton of sense on what we're looking for. So a path from here to here, consolidation, some sort of resistance right there maybe. Then from here to here. And then it's sort of consolidation back again, and then we just continue up. Now, once we get above here, do we have anything else stopping us? Well, let's zoom out and see. No, we don't. There's literally nothing up here. So if we get above this level, $14, we are in what's called price discovery mode. And what that means is that we don't have any major resistance holding us down, and we can just keep going up. Now, that's actually extremely important very, very soon once we go to the BTC pairing. All right, so now you guys see what I'm looking on the low time frame or on the US dollar pairing. However, even though this looks good, the most important thing I'm looking for on EOS is our BTC pairing. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Now, on the BTC pairing, I don't know if you guys are familiar with what this is, so I'll explain it really quickly. This is how much Bitcoin you can buy with one EOS, okay? How much Bitcoin can you buy with one EOS? Now, obviously, Bitcoin is really expensive, right? And EOS is very cheap. So with one EOS, currently, you can buy 0.0001692 Bitcoin for every one EOS, which makes sense. Now, this chart, the pairing between the two creates a chart, and this chart absolutely 100% is tradable. And that's very, very important because this chart, you can actually do the exact same thing on the EOS pairing, on the EOS US dollar pairing. We'll do the exact same thing here on the BTC pairing. So let's go ahead and dive right in and make that happen. Let's go to we're going to do the exact same thing we just did on there. We're going to annotate our yearly close or yearly open, depending on how you want to look at it. Then we're going to go over here and do our monthly, right? Anything crazy sticking out here? Yes, I think we do have something very important, actually. You guys can see we have the highest level of volume we've ever had in this chart in the most recent month. It is the 31st, last day of the month, so it's about to close, but it's going to close with the most volume we've ever had. That's very significant, and I cannot stress that enough. So what that means is that there's a ton of people taking a lot of interest in this chart. A lot of people making exchanges, a lot of transactions happening because people are really starting to get excited about this chart as a whole. So if you dive in here, you can see we do have this breaker. I think this whole little block right here is a breaker. And you can see if you zoom in, what did we reject off of? Interesting, right? Maybe this stuff works pretty well. I don't know though, right? Crazy. So yeah, as you guys can see, we definitely did reject off this monthly level. This is a very clean monthly level. And that's about all I see. I think those two levels are our primary levels of the monthly charts. We can definitely consider this. I might be able to get a better one later, but let's go ahead and see if I can get anything on the weekly. Nope, I think that was our level. All right, cool. So that level I listed out already is our level we're looking at. And so as you can see, even though in the monthly it looks really clean, when you zoom in, it becomes a little more dirty. However, these levels are still 100% valid, so we're not going to change them up at all. So let's go back to the monthly and label them correctly so we don't forget. Monthly breaker. This is going to be a monthly point of breakdown, okay? Because this is the last up candle before a downtrend, okay? Last up candle before a downtrend, just like this. Monthly point of breakdown. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So as you guys can see, these levels will be interacted with, and whenever they do reach there, that will become an instant resistance level on this chart. Now let's go ahead and dive into the weekly and see what else we got. Yep, as you guys see, we are definitely having an increase in volume, which is really healthy. Let's go to the US dollar pairing, see if we're doing the same thing. You know, not as much yet, but the BTC pairing I think is very, very interesting, which is why I think there's a lot more interaction on that chart specifically. So let's go ahead and dive in and see exactly why I am so bullish on this chart. If we go back, and this worked, we're on the weekly. Let's go to the 3-day or the daily. Let's go to the daily real quick. Let's see if I can do it. Now, as I showed you guys on previously, when you're dealing with a long time frame of numbers, you can do the log pairing or you can do the normal, right? We're going to go into the log real quick. I'm going to show you something that's incredibly interesting on here. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to go in here, make a line. Super, super simple. Take a line, connect it here, okay? I'm sorry, we're not going to connect it. We're going to connect it here. There we go. I'm losing my mind over here. Okay, we have just connected this line. Now look at what happens when we zoom in, okay? I extend this line out all the way, this line to that line. Ooh, happens to touch this one, which happens to get close to that. But we have some sort of interaction way down here, especially when you get to the higher time frame. I think a weekly chart looks really, really well. 1, 2. All right, there we go, guys. So yeah, so this interaction is absolutely valid. Let's see if I can adjust it just a little bit more to make it even cleaner. The 3-day, what was the level I was looking at? There was a level that made this thing line up damn near perfectly. I'm trying to find it again. There we go. That's what I was looking at. So from here to here on the 3-day level, this makes these lines line up damn near perfectly. And you can see the interaction that we're having on this chart. So it could be included right over here. We busted above this level, came back in. However, we closed back above this trend line on the 3-day level. That is extremely significant, y'all. Extremely significant. Because now this looks like a bullish retest of this falling trend line. And if you zoom out, you can see how far we have to go, right? So it's a very, very solid reclaim on the high time frame. And now this looks like, hey, we're already about a quarter of the way up, right? That's pretty, it's not that much of not much room to go. However, you take off the log chart and you can see how much room we have to run right now, guys. This is an insane amount of room to run. And because of this, I am super, super bullish on this chart. Absolutely just blown away by how bullish this chart does look. So because of that, it is my third highest portfolio, or my third highest holding in my portfolio. And let's zoom in and really see exactly why I have it like that. So we already went over the monthly level. Weekly level, I think we've already basically covered most of it. And then let's get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. Let's see, anything else I'm missing? That, no, I don't like that either. We have a little bit of a breaker here, nothing too crazy, but we're currently above that, which is really healthy. Let's go to the daily. And on the daily level, okay, we do have this level, which today we came down and retested it. That's fantastic, right? This looks really, really good. So this right here is a point of breakdown. And that's really all we got. So we are currently ranging between these two levels. And just like we saw before, once you start going up, you're just going to go level to level. From here you go to there, from here you go to there, from here you go to there, etc. All the way up the line. So let's go ahead and start annotating that out. From here to here, consolidation, here to here, consolidation, here to here, consolidation. And then from there, you guys can see how much this can just absolutely explode up to there. And then from there, you just keep going up. And that is basically how you play this on a low time frame. All right, so the US dollar pairing, we have our current setup, and it looks pretty dang similar to the BTC pairing. And you guys see how you play level to level to level. Now, if you start losing levels, obviously you start selling out, but or you start selling off your position. But overall, this looks really, really healthy. So I'm very happy with the way that this chart looks. Let's see if there's anything else I really see on here. I do see this. This is a pretty important trend line, right? So you can see the amount of interaction that you've had here. Let me find that real quick. I'm going to call it 3-day maybe. Yeah, I like this better. So on here, you guys can see the amount of interaction. So 1 test, 2 test, 3 test. Came back down, and this massive, massive dump that happened on Bitcoin, right? The massive, massive dump. What happened to it? It came down here and hit this level and continued back up. This looks extremely healthy, guys. Like I really, really do like the way that this chart looks. And I honestly do think that we have some serious, serious potential. How high can it go? Guys, who knows at this point, right? So let's say, I'm going to do some math real quick. So let's say we're able to get to this level, which is around what, 0.001 Bitcoin. All right, let's do a hypothetical scenario real quick. All right, I don't know if you can see my calculator now. You probably can't. All right, I'm gonna pull up the calculator real quick and show you guys. Or here, I'm gonna do it this way. .001 times the current price of Bitcoin, which is around 40,000, equals $40 in EOS if we have the same amount of money that Bitcoin is worth right now and we reach this level. So right now we are only at $6. So is it unreasonable to go 8 times from here? Absolutely. Now let's say Bitcoin does go above and beyond. Let's say it does recover and all that good stuff. And let's say we're able to get to $100,000 Bitcoin. So 100,000 Bitcoin times 0.001 equals $100 EOS. That's around 20x our current location. Guys, the potential here is phenomenal, all right? And I really do want you to fully understand how big of a possibility we do have with this coin. And there's a dang good reason as to why it is my 3rd largest holding. So I think we have a lot of potential. I hope you guys have really learned something from this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and all that good stuff on the channel. Join my Discord. I keep everyone up to date with all the most recent targets and all my signals and everything else. I have lots of really, really cool stuff I do post on here. So if you guys have any questions, like always, let me know. I'm going to go ahead and end the video, but I will see you on the next one. Deuces, boys.